Finally, Sonic Colors Ultimate is out. I'm having a blast playing through this game. It's one of my favorite Sonic games, and I'm just glad it's out in new platforms. What a better way to celebrate this than compiling 2 ranking videos that I did previously into one video. Why? Because Sonic Colors DS doesn't get much love, and not many people know about it. Unfortunately, Sonic Colors DS has just been pushed to the wayside, so I wanted to mix in both bosses from Sonic Colors DS and Sonic Colors Ultimate for the ultimate ranking for Sonic Colors. Enjoy the video, guys! Kicking off this list is Admiral Jelly from Aquarium Park. And wow, what a headache it was to face this boss. Honestly, this boss felt more like a level than an actual boss. First off, it's underwater, and from the get-go, underwater battles are hit or miss. In addition, you have these homing torpedoes that you have to maneuver your way through the level as they chase you down in order for you to hit this glass dome. Unnecessary difficulty, man. But best of luck, because in order for you to navigate with the torpedoes, you have to go through all this BS obstacles and wow, worse, you're underwater, so there's a lack of oxygen too, so dying is a major thing you're gonna have to go through in this level if you're not good enough. Once you beat the level portion of the boss, you're thrown into the fight itself, which honestly should have been that from the beginning. Overall, this boss level it's not fun in my opinion. There's these little robots that are annoying, bouncing everywhere, and the Admiral is out here moving side to side, annoying to hit. It's hittable, but it's annoying to hit, and your only chance of attacking it is when it's standing still. And what? I don't know. I did not like this at all. I found this to be very tedious, and once you do hit him, the game throws you back into the level portion of the boss, and it's just padded difficulty in my opinion. And then for some whatever reason, you get the Drill Wisp, and I thought the Drill Wisp was used to break the dome, which in my head makes sense to do, but it's not. Because the Drill Wisp is actually used in the Admiral fight, which once you make it to the Admiral using the Drill Wisp, the fight is pretty much cake from there. You just turn into the Drill Wisp and you chase him around, which mind you, the Admiral's pretty fast. And then once you make it up to him, hit him 2 times, that's it, he dies. And no, it's garbage, honestly. I wish this boss was more of a fight instead of what we actually got, which was this level. Captain Jelly from Sweet Mountain is almost identical to Admiral Jelly, but it's easier, and it's not underwater, which ranks it higher on the list. This time around, you're dodging cannonballs and using them to traverse the level portion of the boss fight, which, mind you, isn't annoying like the aforementioned homing torpedoes, because God almighty was that a pain in the ass. Plus, the Captain Jelly fight is a lot more easier to go through, and a lot less annoying since you aren't underwater. Again, these little robots are annoying to maneuver through, but try your best and take them all out so you can get straight to Captain Jelly. It's gonna take some time, but it's honestly the less tedious way to do it. Honestly, this boss would have been a lot better if they axed the level portion of it, same with the last boss. It just makes no sense to me to have this be a thing. You know, okay, what I would do personally, if I were a developer, just throw in the level, and then once you beat the level portion, you just fight the boss for the rest of the fight. I don't know why they're making you go back and forth. It's just not viable to me, to be honest with you. Kicking off the Sonic Colors DS portion of the boss rankings is Globaltron, the first boss of the game. Well, technically this boss is only fightable in the DS version, so don't expect to find this in the Wii version of Sonic Colors. This boss has long lanky arms that slam right onto the arena with the obvious intention of taking out Sonic. If the boss misses, it's your chance to hit its arm and deal some damage. Honestly, you can just boost on it, which is the recommended way, or you can just do the homing attack. Honestly, this boss is the easiest one in the game. You don't have to have any experience, you just gotta know how to play Sonic to beat this. Essentially for this boss, you just gotta dodge an attack. And then after you do that a couple times, Globaltron falls face flat, and this is your chance. This is where you hit that little Eggman head thing, and you take it out, and you get this little cool cutscene thingy thing. This boss isn't bad by any means, and if anything, I personally like it a lot. You know, obviously because it's easy, and I don't know, I have a thing for easy bosses, but there's obviously way better ones after this one, so this is why I unfortunately had to rank it the lowest. Sonic Colors DS bosses aren't bad by any means. Honestly, what I like about this game is that the bosses here have replayability. And for this boss, for example, it only gets easier because if you come back after getting the Burst Wisp later on in the game, you can take out this boss a lot more quicker, and that's really dope. It adds a lot of replayability to games. Hey man, if you got me hooked onto a game, for me to come back to previous bosses, that's really good. Hands down, the easiest boss in this game. Big Boy, aka Rotatron from Tropical Resort, is always a fun time for myself personally. I really enjoy coming back to this boss. I kind of go back to Sonic Colors to fight this boss sometimes. This boss can be beaten very quickly and there's no goddamn level section tied to it. If anything, this boss is the level. I mean, look at it. It's a giant Ferris wheel with like a big ol' eye in the middle. And speaking of the big ol' eye, you have to hit it a couple times and that's it, you beat the boss. Obviously avoid its claws because it can do damage, and I like this boss a lot. Also, if you use the laser wisp for this boss, it's an instant win if you shoot at the eye, of course, because, you know, lasers in the eye, they're not really good for you. Big Boy 2, aka Refreshinator from Planet Wisp, is another giant Ferris wheel robot. This boss is easy as well. Not as easy as the last one, but it's easy to the point that I can appreciate it. Actually, this boss is really easy. And especially that this boss comes at a point where you go through all that BS of the Admiral and Captain Jelly. I'm very appreciative, honestly. This boss is an improvement from Rotatron from Tropical Resort because this boss has lasers, which is ironic because the last one you used lasers to kill, but this one is using it to kill you. And this boss actually defends itself by hiding its head, which it's very smart for a boss to do. This time around, it used the Spike Wisp to avoid damage from the lasers. I honestly thought there was more to the Spike Wisp, but no, I can't lie to you, I had to look it up. I had to see what the Spike Wisp does, and all it does is avoid damage from the lasers. I honestly thought you use it to attack or something. You do, but not to the extent I imagined it. This boss gets beaten with a couple hits, and honestly, I think bosses like these should have at least 3 to 5 hits more, but beggars can't be choosers. I'll take what I can get, especially after the last couple bosses. Whew. Frigate Orkan from Starlight Carnival is what I like to call a boost boss. And I'll tell you, this right off the rip was low-key a little difficult, but a smidge of difficulty increase. What? Fighting this airship boss is a lot easier with the Rocket Wisp because it gives the boss a lot of damage. Personally, I had a lot of trouble dodging, but I've seen others go through this boss in under a minute, and that's the whole beauty of this game, is that once you know the logistics of a boss and how to handle it, everything is just nice and easy. I'm ranking this boss based off my experience with it. I played through these a couple times so I can see where someone can struggle versus where someone can excel at, and making the best of both worlds, this is where I rank Frigate Orkan. Honestly, if I have to say anything, the projectiles are a pain to dodge, especially if you aren't quick enough. It's super doable. It's a great boss, especially when you get the hang of it, and same can be said for the rest of this list. Captain Jelly is a boss from Sweet Mountain. For some reason, I've kind of always wanted to say Sweet Mountain, but it's not. It's just called Sweet Mountain. I don't know what's wrong with me. This is one of the early bosses in both the DS and Wii versions of Sonic Colors, and it's a little bit more difficult than the first Globaltron boss. The attack pattern is pretty simple to follow. Captain Jelly throws one of its lackeys, and you have to boost into them so you can get access to the Burst Wisp, which immediately upon uses causes a lot of damage to the boss. The way I played this boss initially, I didn't really use a Burst Wisp too much, but without using it, it added a lot of challenge to the boss fight. As I mentioned before, I initially did all the bosses blind, so this is all new to me. So the footage you're seeing here is just me struggling. But it's good because I'm not just recycling footage over and over again. Great boss nonetheless, better than the previous one mentioned a lot. Admiral Jelly right off the rip is better than Captain Jelly in Sonic Colors DS. It's sort of the same fight as the last, but this time you're underwater. And while that could be annoying for a typical level, for this boss it oddly works. you have to be mindful of the time or else you'll drown. The stage itself gives you air bubbles, so you'll be fine. Just make sure to get them before that traumatizing music comes in. Admiral Jelly launches its lackey like a projectile and hits the side of the stage. Have you noticed that the little robots look like sailor men? Honestly, it looks very adorable. Aw, too bad they're gonna die anyway. Essentially, the stage is a seesaw, and you have to be on the opposing end of said seesaw, so when the Admiral launches his projectile seamen, you're safe on the other side of the stage. Once that happens, it's your chance to attack the boss by stomping on your side of the stage and landing that projectile right back onto the boss. Be careful though, because if you miss, that means you wasted an opportunity and you gotta do this whole song and dance of dodging and attacking and all this stuff that can get kind of annoying. When you do land a hit, it feels satisfying because then you can just homing attack the boss 2 times and then continue on. What's cool, besides the obvious music, is the whirlpool attack he does. It's easy to dodge, so don't worry about it. But again, be mindful because, you know, Sonic can drown. You're underwater just in case you forgot. And if you fall from side to side, there's usually like a little bubble thingy thing that can save you. Sometimes not there. It can do you dirt. Other than that, I really enjoy this boss, and easily the best one out of the Jelly variants here in the DS version. Oh man, I'm sorry that this is ranked at number 4. Before you go rage in the comments, please hear me out. Nega Mother Wisp, in my opinion, isn't as great as the remaining bosses in Sonic Colors. Yes, I get it. It's a DS exclusive boss, and it makes sense for the overall story that Sonic Colors was telling, and I'm honestly surprised this wasn't in the Wii version. But overall, some people may say this boss might be number 1 just because it is a supersonic fight, but no, it's definitely not. Supersonic fights are cool and everything, especially in this case because we didn't have one for Sonic Colors Wii. But in this case, I don't know. This boss, conceptually, I liked it. It was cool, it's original, even in its design. It makes sense in terms of the scale of a boss that it is. Sonic asked Yakker's permission to kick his mom's butt. That was kind of funny to read. This boss fight is long, honestly, and it's fair for it to be long because it's literally the final boss, but I don't know, I just feel like it's padded out too much. The slashes that the Mother Wisp throws are easy to read and easy to dodge, but remember, this is a supersonic fight, so if you get hit, the ring counter drops quickly, and once you drop to 0, that's it, you die. So it kind of makes this boss fight a lot more tense, which I like. I like the fact that it makes it tense, and you have to be out here dodging and being mindful of time. So collecting rings is a must. And honestly, if I have to praise this boss, which I have to because it's at number 4, this boss is dope because you have 2 perspectives while battling. There's this over-the-head perspective, you hit these asteroids to hit the Mother Wisp's hand, and then once you do that, it goes into the second perspective where you're right behind Sonic, which I don't like, and you have to boost your way onto the Mother's Eye. And if you do these right and don't get any hits from the boss, it's really fun to get through, but honestly, this is where it just disappoints me. I personally don't like the perspective we had going on here. I feel like the camera is just too close to Sonic behind, and I know maybe this is because of the DS and its screen size and resolution, but it's hard to get a grasp of when Mother Wisp uses her laser or when you gotta dodge some things. I don't know, I think they could have just brought the camera back a little bit. It's doable, don't get me wrong, and it's just something you have to get used to. I messed up a lot because of it. I was trying to see if I wasn't the only one, but I've seen a lot of videos where people messed up. And it's normal, you know, it is what it is. I feel like it hindered it, to be honest with you. And another thing I didn't like was a timing attack portion. There's just one at the end where you press Y, and if you don't get the position right and you hit Y on time, everything you just did is for nothing. You just start right back from the first attack phase, having to go through this over and over and over again. It's reasons such as this that the homing attack exists, so it can be easier to log on to targets, and not seeing implemented at the final boss, I guess it could make it more difficult, but it's just not reasonable. Like, if I'm a little bit off to the side and I hit Y and miss, don't penalize me so hard, that's messed up. This boss is a bunch of rinse and repeat, and honestly, I didn't like it, to be honest. This is only as high as it is for its concept of original story and the fact that it's a supersonic fight. Honestly, I could have ranked it lower, but I fought myself not to. Asteroid Coaster's boss, Frigate Scullion, is a large airship with big guns and the ability to teleport. Pretty cool, especially with such a big ship like that. This boss is a boost boss where you run and make your way up to the ship and just nail it with a couple homing attacks. I found this boss to be a lot of fun, especially because you can feel the energy and tension as you dodge the asteroids or spiked balls it throws at you. Plus, using the Rocket Wisp is really handy when you're in the 2B sections, and obviously especially if you know where to use it, because I didn't really know where to use it. I just wish we got a different type of boss for Asteroid Coaster, to be honest. Sonic Colors has this thing where they rehash bosses from previous matches, but while this boss isn't bad by any means, I actually really do enjoy it. I just wish there was something more original, but hey, it is what it is. Sonic Colors doesn't have great bosses, to be honest with you. I didn't expect this boss to be so high on the list, especially after Mother Wisp, but the Drillinator from Planet Wisp is the third best DS boss, and guess what? It's only in the DS version too. This boss tries to take out Sonic by drilling right into him, but you have to be smart about this and not be an idiot like I was. You have to boost your way onto this boss and take the Drill Wisp away. You see, from the footage here, I didn't do none of that. I was just straight homing, attacking, and dodging attacks. And wow, brain power is a must here because I was just stuck in a loop, doing the same old thing over and over and hoping for the best and dying. But then it hit me that the boss was just healing itself, and wow, that's ridiculous. But then it hit me. I have to drill underneath because there's some balls, for lack of a better term, that I have to drill into underwater. For some reason, I didn't think about doing that, so that's my bad. But this boss is as high as it is for its challenge. Seriously, I would have grown old playing this boss had I not known to use a Drill Wisp. If you ever play Sonic Colors DS, remember, boosting and using the Wisps is your essential tools. Please use them. Don't be an idiot like I was. This boss is great though. Honestly, once you get the hang of it, bada bing, bada boom, that's it, you're done. Under 5 minutes, I bet. Ooh, the final boss. Well, at least in the console version of Sonic Colors. Nega Wisp armor is piloted by none other than Dr. Eggman himself, and wow. Dr. Eggman's out here really trying to kill Sonic this time around. As he is always, but this time, he's kind of using messed up measures by capturing aliens and using their Hyper Go-On energy, which is kind of messed up. This boss has the powers of the following wisps. The blue cube, where the boss puts these dark energy cubes along your way as you're running, which is kind of cool to dodge. The laser wisp, where it shoots fast lasers onto you, so be ready to dodge. It's not that hard, but you can get hit. The rocket wisp, where it shoots orange missiles engulfed with purple flames. And there's more wisp that he uses, but to be honest with you, I didn't see most of these wisps in my playthroughs, since mine was only using the ones I mentioned to you. Which honestly, it's a little underwhelming. I wish I saw the whole arsenal, but hey, it doesn't matter because it makes up for itself because the Nega Wisp armor uses combo color powers, which is a combination of Wisp powers, in other words. From what I saw, it uses the blue cube and the laser, or the blue cube and the spike, and it uses both of them in tandem, so good luck dodging. It's doable, but best of luck. Once you attack Eggman enough times with the homing attack, the boss is almost over and done with. And finally, you collect all the Wisp and use the final color blaster, which is cool because I like the way the announcer says it. And then you use this move to finish it off, and that's it. It's honestly really cool because you use everything you've been using throughout the game just for this one final attack. This is a cool way to end Sonic Colors, to be honest with you. Wow, this boss fight was actually really good. Surprised it's not number 1 though. The Nega Wisp armor from the DS version of Sonic Colors is basically an Eggman fight. And comparing this boss fight to the Nega Mother Wisp, this one is a lot more tense. Honestly, you start off by running down the stage, and that within itself is kind of hard. It's doable, but it's kind of hard. Once you get past that, here comes the fun part. This boss uses all 5 of this game's wisps to attack you, and it's your job to save them. There's so much variety to this boss that learning its attack patterns is very crucial. For starters, there's a Burst Wisp. Eggman uses the Burst Wisp to burst through the stage, and it's very easy to get caught, believe me, and get hurt. But you know, once you do that, you boost into Eggman and you take away away his Burst Wisp. Then there's the Rocket Wisp, which has you dodging rockets. The Drill Wisp, which has Sonic be quick on his feet and dodging the drills. And then there's a Laser, which is kind of sporadic with dodging, but you know, doable. And the Void Wisp, which has you running against a literal black hole. This is kind of dope. The black hole kept getting me, but it really was really tense, and I really did enjoy that. I love final boss fights just like this one because it puts everything to the test. Everything you've learned and learned how to use is used against you. The whole objective here is to save each Wisp, so after each attack, you have to boost onto Eggman's Wisp armor to take the Wisp. And at the end, it grants you this final epic boost attack with all the Wisps, and once you mash the button a couple times, you beat the game. Well, if you didn't collect the emeralds. But a great boss overall. I love it. I would have never imagined this boss would be ranked number 1 for the DS version of Sonic Colors. This boss, with all due honesty, is very hype. Wow, my dodging skills were put to the test, and I was still garbage. I was still garbaggio. I can't really emphasize enough, really, the essential of dodging, because this boss makes you go through some BS. Wow, I died many times. Boosting, if I have not made it clear enough, is vital for this game, and this boss just proves it. The Void Wisp as well, which is the wisp you use, is also very useful for dealing damage. Hell, you can eat the boss if you use the Void Wisp towards the end of the fight, which is dope. You just gotta watch out for these lasers and, you know, make sure to collect rings every now and then. I had a lot of struggle with the rock hammer thingy thing, but I learned a trick on how to avoid it towards later playthroughs. Honestly, I love these 2.5D boost bosses because it adds a lot of energy to these fights and a lot of tension. This boss fight earns my Mr. Awesome approval, being the best boss in Sonic Colors DS. And finally, number 1. There's something about these frigate bosses that tickles my fancy. And Frigate Orkan from Starlight Carnival is honestly the best boss in the console version of Sonic Colors. As I mentioned before, this boss is from Starlight Carnival, and it's the same song and dance from Frigate Scullion, which is why I said before I wish there was something original for that boss. But something about this boss in particular that made me like it better than all the ones previous to it is because I like the utilization of the Laser Wisp, or the lack of those annoying asteroids, or hell, the fact that this boss is completely original since it is first in Frigate Scullion in terms of the order of the game. I personally have a blast fighting this boss. I enjoy it so much, and I didn't know I was gonna like this boss as much as I did until I started ranking this video. I just like its attack patterns more than anything that was shown before, because some bosses either don't attack or are just annoying levels. And the whole homing attack from a distance is dope to me because, damn, I just like covering and just covering that distance, and it feels so good. This boss is simply number 1 just because it's all the enjoyment I have with it. Honestly, like, play this boss when you get Sonic Colors Ultimate. I think you'll agree with me. And if you don't, hey, what's your favorite Sonic Colors boss? Let me know down in the comment section below. I'm open to have a discussion with you. Hey, thanks for watching this ultimate ranking for Sonic Colors. Wow, who knew the DS version of this game had some really good bosses? But ultimately, the console version came up top as number 1. But hey, it is what it is. Hopefully someday we get DLC for the DS versions of the bosses. Who knows? I think that would make the ultimate experience of Sonic Colors, you know, be ultimate. As always, thank you guys for watching. Shout outs to everyone that subscribed and watching this video. I really appreciate you guys. I'm a huge Sonic fan as much as you are. But yes, thanks for watching. Shout outs to the members for putting that pizza on my pepperoni. I hope you guys are enjoying Sonic Colors as much as I am. And shout outs to the people wearing the Mr. Awesome merch. Thank you for repping the Mr. Awesome channel outside in the real world. As always, stay safe out there, guys. It's a dangerous world. My name's been Mr. Awesome. This is a new outro that I just been BSing on because I have no script right now. As always, stay golden.